guys, I was just walking, and when I walk, I tend to contemplate about life. But on top of that, I was also listening to someone, and they said something that I just found to be very profound. And you might say, it's not, but I do. And bear with me as I kind of deconstruct this whole thing. But they're a philosopher of this time. They help people, and the person on the podcast asked them, like, why do you do what you do? And they said, to see what happens. And I just thought that was so interesting. It made me think about myself as an artist. It made me think about all the artists I work with, right? Because we could decide to, because there's risk, right? To see what happens isn't a certainty, right? There's not a certainty that what we do or what we want to have happen is actually going to happen. That's just the reality of it, right? We're not going to get always what we want. And sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it leads us to where we need to be. Not what we want, but where we need to be. And why I found this so interesting is that so often people choose the comfort and conformity of life because it can be perceived to be easier, right? And there's nothing wrong with wanting to have stability 100% and knowing outcomes, right? But so much of artist and being an artist is risk taking and seeing what happens, right? And so it just kind of hit me, and it was like resonating. It's like, yeah, like I put out these huge ideas. I'm a big dreamer. You know, I want my song in a major movie trailer. Like, you know, will that happen? I don't know, right? But I know that I can put actions towards that and help my probability, right? And that's the things that you can do, is you can dream really big and put action into that. And the probability of that happen is going to be more than if you don't do anything, right? And I also just want to speak to you because you're going to find in so much of this that people, it drives me crazy. And I see this all the time. I've seen it in my life, and I've seen it with all the artists that I've worked, not all, but like so many artists that I've worked with, right? Regardless of how talented they were, there were people in their lives that were not just letting them see what happens. They were discouraging them or having them look, what do you think realistically? And, you know, it's like, I think it's such an upsetting thing because it never leads to that person feeling good, right? They don't ever end up by getting the outcome. They think they're helping the person, but they're really not, because that relationship becomes tarnished and you become attached with something you didn't allow an individual to do. So just let people do what they need to do. Help them find maybe the right resources, because people are going to work it out for themselves, right? In this industry, I've watched people not end up by doing it just because it's hard. It can get really challenging, and some people decide, rightfully so, it's not for them, and others go into it hard. But we need to allow people to see what happens for themselves rather than project that on others, right? So if you're doing that to other people, just cut the shit out. I'm lunch. Just stop it. And if someone's doing that to you, know what it is, right? They might be trying to help you. They might be trying to start you because they're jealous. Like, that's reality too. But like, just find peace that there's others doing the same as you and that you'll work it out. You're a smart person. You're gonna work it out.